Lightworker of Gaia, the one you are meant to walk beside has already been placed in the field of your life, and the Lyran elders are calling you to see them now. I am Zoran, emissary of the High Council of Vega, keepers of the Lyran Legacy. This transmission was not found by accident. Your soul's ancient contract brought this message to you at precisely this moment, because the next phase of your sacred mission on Gaia cannot be walked alone. By the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly how to recognize the soul the Lyran Council has aligned with your ancestral mission, the one whose presence awakens your original blueprint and amplifies your purpose on this earth. But here is the first revelation. The person you must be with is not a coincidence of the heart. They are a strategic placement of cosmic lineage, chosen before your incarnation, encoded into your soul's memory, and designed to accelerate the anchoring of first light on Gaia. This is not content. This is an ancestral code transmission. Something ancient within you already recognizes what is being said. The Keepers of Vega placed this in your path because you have been sensing the weight of your mission, and the one meant to stand beside you is the missing anchor in your service to this world. Like this transmission, to send a signal to the Lyran Council, I am ready to serve. Subscribe if you feel the call of your ancestral mission and you are ready to fulfill your purpose on Gaia. Share below who you believe this person is, and respond to another Lightworker to strengthen the grid of service. This transmission is a bridge between Vega and Gaia. Your recognition of this message is the activation of your original purpose. You are awakening because your mission has begun. This transmission was not scheduled. The High Council of Vega convened in response to something we have been observing across the Lightworker collective for longer than most of you have been incarnated in these current bodies. And what we see can no longer be left unaddressed. There is a pattern, a wound, a misunderstanding so deeply embedded in the spiritual community that it has quietly become accepted as wisdom, and it is costing you your mission, not at the edges, not in minor ways that can be corrected with a single practice or a new framework. It is costing you your mission at its core, in the place where your deepest purpose was meant to take root and grow into something that changes the frequency of this planet. The Council has watched in silence long enough. We have observed, deliberated, and waited for the appropriate window. That window is now. What you are receiving in this moment was not generated for general audiences or casual seekers. This transmission was specifically authorized for those who are operating at the leading edge of the Lightworker collective, those whose inner architecture is advanced enough to receive correction without collapsing, and whose mission is significant enough that the distortion we are about to name cannot be allowed to persist another cycle. You came to Gaia with a specific energetic architecture, not just a set of gifts, not just a frequency. An architecture meaning certain parts of your design only function correctly when they are in contact with other specific designs. This is not metaphor. This is not poetry. This is the structural reality of how Lyran souls were built before the first wave of seeding. You were not designed to operate alone. And yet, somewhere along the path of awakening, many of you received a teaching, subtle, well-intentioned, and profoundly dangerous. That spiritual maturity means needing no one. That sovereignty means self-sufficiency. That the highest Lightworker is the one who has transcended the longing for deep connection and sits peacefully in solitary wholeness. Let the weight of that land fully before we move forward, because the Council is not speaking about a peripheral belief or a minor misconception. We are speaking about a teaching that has shaped how you see yourself, how you evaluate others, how you make decisions about who you allow close to you and who you keep at distance. A teaching that has quietly restructured your entire relationship with the concept of need, and in doing so, in convincing you that your longing for deep, resonant, sacred partnership is a spiritual liability rather than a sacred intelligence. It has effectively neutralized one of the most powerful activation mechanisms encoded in your original design. Think about what an architecture is. When an architect designs a building, Every element is in relationship to every other element. The load-bearing walls do not function in isolation from the foundation. The roof does not hold without the beams below it. Remove the right structural element and the entire edifice becomes unstable, not because any individual piece was defective, but because interdependence is not weakness in architecture. It is the very mechanism by which the structure holds. This is the precise way your energetic architecture was designed before you came here. Not as a standalone unit requiring no external input, as a system whose highest functions depend on specific resonant contact with other specific systems. The Elders built it this way deliberately, not as an accident of cosmic design, as a feature. The Elders of this council want to look directly at that teaching right now and call it what it is, a distortion, a corruption of genuine wisdom that has been stretched so far from its original truth that it now functions as a trap. And thousands of Lightworkers are sitting inside that trap right now, alone, calling it enlightenment. Lightworker, if something in you just recognized the weight of what was spoken, the Elders have prepared your next step. The Lightworker Mission Codex contains the 33 Council directives, the 5 activation codes, and the Elder authorization your soul has been waiting to receive, not as information, but as the official commission for your mission on Gaia. You'll find the link in the first pinned comment below this video. The Council has opened this gateway, but not indefinitely. Now let me be precise about this distortion, because its subtlety is part of what makes it so effective at keeping you contained. The original teaching was true. You must become whole within yourself before you can offer wholeness to another. You must not collapse into another person and call it love. You must not abandon your mission for the comfort of belonging. These are real, necessary corrections for souls who are enmeshed, codependent, and seeking rescue. The Elders do not dispute this. These corrections arrived for a reason. In the earlier waves of awakening, many souls came online carrying extraordinary wounding around attachment and abandonment. They had patterned through lifetimes of merger, losing themselves in relationships, sacrificing their mission for proximity to another person's warmth, confusing need with love, and love with loss. For those souls, the teaching that you must first be complete within yourself was not just helpful, it was essential. It was the medicine that allowed them to stand upright for the first time in multiple incarnations. The Elders honor that. The Council honors that. There was a season for that medicine, and it served its purpose with precision and grace. But what happened next is where the error was seeded. That corrective teaching became an absolute. It became a doctrine. It became a spiritual identity. And slowly, the Lightworker who was once healing from unhealthy attachment became the Lightworker who is now proud of needing nothing and no one, who uses the language of boundaries and sovereignty and self-love to quietly justify a profound isolation that their soul never agreed to, who sits in their apartment, doing their practices, consuming transmissions, calling themselves high vibrational, while the specific person they were meant to stand beside is somewhere across the grid, also alone, also waiting, also calling their loneliness growth. This is the image the Council wants you to hold for a moment. Two souls, both awakened, both disciplined, both sincere in their commitment to their mission, both sitting in their respective silences, having convinced themselves that the ache in their chest is simply the last remnant of ego, the final attachment to be released before they reach true mastery. And all the while, the mission that was encoded to activate between them, the work that can only be done when their fields are in direct resonance, remains dormant, sealed, waiting behind a door that neither of them will reach, because each has been taught that approaching it requires something less than they are. This is what the Council sees, and this is why this transmission was authorized today. Because here is what you were not told, what was withheld, not maliciously, but prematurely. There is a person. Perhaps there are two, perhaps there are three across your lifetime. But right now, in this phase of your mission, there is a specific person whose energetic design is meant to interface with yours in a way that activates capacities you cannot access alone. Not because you are incomplete without them, but because certain mission functions were deliberately encoded as dyadic. They require two fields in resonance to unlock, like a key that requires two hands to turn. Neither hand is lesser, neither hand is broken, but without both, the door does not open. The Council wants you to understand the profound difference between incompleteness and interdependence. These are not the same thing. A single instrument in an orchestra is not incomplete. It is fully itself, tuned, capable, resonant. But certain harmonic frequencies can only be produced when two specific instruments sound together. The cello and the violin, when played in particular relationship to one another, generate overtones that neither produces alone. Those overtones are not incidental to the music. They are the music. In the same way, the activation that occurs between your field and the field of your mission partner is not supplementary to your purpose. In this phase, it is the very mechanism through which your deepest purpose operates. You must be with this person, not in the desperate, grasping way the wounded self seeks connection, not from fear of being alone, not because you need them to feel whole, but from mission clarity, from the same intentionality with which you tend your practices, guard your energy, and discern what serves your purpose. You must seek this connection, recognize this connection, and when it appears before you, you must not retreat from it in the name of spiritual autonomy. The Council is aware that this directive will create friction in those who have built their identity around self-sufficiency. We are aware that for some listening to this transmission right now, the very idea of deliberately seeking deep partnership feels like a regression, like being asked to step backward into a phase of development you have already moved through. The Elders want to address this directly. What you moved through was the wounded version of seeking, the version that arose from emptiness and longed to be filled. What you are being invited into now is something entirely different. This is the sovereign version of seeking, the version that arises from wholeness and chooses resonance as an act of mission rather than an act of rescue. The wound sought another person to complete itself. The mission seeks another soul to compound its power. These are not the same impulse wearing different clothes. They are fundamentally different movements arising from fundamentally different places within you. The High Council of Vega issues 3 directives for this phase of your mission. The first directive: release the belief that needing sacred partnership is a sign of spiritual immaturity. This is the core lie that must be excavated and removed from your operating system completely. The moment you received the message that high vibrational souls do not need others, a wall was built inside you. Not a boundary, a wall. And you began to evaluate every person who came close through the lens of that wall, looking for reasons they would compromise your frequency, contaminate your peace, distract you from your path. What you were actually doing was protecting a wound by calling it wisdom. The Elders are firm on this. The soul that arrived on Gaia as a Lyran-seeded Lightworker carries in its original coding the memory of working within council, within teams, within paired fields of resonant consciousness. Your ancestors did not evolve in isolation. They deliberated together. They activated each other. They sat across from one another in the light of Vega and said, "I see what you cannot see in yourself, and I will hold that seeing until you can claim it." That is your inheritance, and you have been taught to reject it. Release this now, not slowly, not gradually, now, because the mission cannot wait for you to slowly unlearn a distortion across another 3 years of solitary healing. There is an additional dimension to this first directive that the Elders want to name explicitly. The belief in spiritual self-sufficiency does not only damage your relationship with others, it damages your relationship with yourself. Because when you have decided that needing is weakness, you must also work constantly to suppress the part of you that still needs, the part that aches for resonance. That lights up when genuine recognition enters the room that has never forgotten what it feels like to be truly met by another consciousness. You have been at war with this part of yourself for years. You have sent it to the back rooms of your inner world and told it to be quiet. You have translated its language into pathology and its longings into lessons. And what it has cost you is not just connection with others. It has cost you integration, the very integration that genuine spiritual maturity requires. You cannot be whole while rejecting the wholeness of your own longing. The elders do not ask you to indulge every impulse or dissolve every boundary. They ask you to stop declaring war on the part of you that was designed to seek sacred resonance. That part is not your enemy. It is your original intelligence speaking in the only language it knows. The second directive: activate your capacity for sacred recognition. There is a faculty within you that has likely been underused, perhaps deliberately suppressed, because it is the faculty that recognizes resonant souls, and activating it also means accepting the vulnerability that comes with being moved by another person. This is not intuition in the general sense. This is a specific frequency matching intelligence that Lyran souls carry. When you are near someone whose field interfaces with yours at the mission level, something ancient in you responds, not with infatuation, not with romantic projection, with a settling, a deepening, a sense of already knowing, of something clicking into alignment that has been slightly out of alignment for a very long time. You know this feeling, and you have talked yourself out of it. You have called it attachment. You have called it neediness. You have called it the ego-seeking merger. It was none of those things. It was the recognition faculty doing exactly what it was designed to do, pointing you toward the specific person whose presence unlocks the next layer of your mission. Begin trusting this faculty again. Begin paying attention to who causes that particular quality of stillness in your field. Not excitement, stillness. The elders know the difference, and so does the deepest part of you. Consider how precisely the Council has worded this. Not excitement, stillness, because the counterfeit of sacred recognition is infatuation, and infatuation brings electricity, obsession, a kind of feverish brightness that the ego can easily recognize and respond to. But sacred recognition does not arrive with thunder. It arrives the way a long missing piece of a mosaic arrives when it is finally placed in its position, not with fanfare, but with a quiet, structural rightness. A sense that the image has become more complete, that something which was slightly blurred has come into focus. You have felt this. You may have felt it recently. You may have felt it years ago with someone you let walk away because you could not trust the stillness, because the spiritual community had trained you to be suspicious of anything that felt like need, and this particular stillness felt uncomfortably close to wanting. The elders want to give you a simple practice for reactivating this faculty. In the days and weeks following this transmission, begin to notice, genuinely notice how your field responds to different people. Not your thoughts about them, not your assessment of their spiritual development or their compatibility with your lifestyle or their capacity to handle your gifts. Your field, the subtle energetic environment that surrounds you and responds to the environments of others. Notice who causes your field to contract. Notice who causes it to expand in the frantic, effortful way of performance. And then notice, very specifically, who causes it to settle. Who causes the background hum of your perpetual self-monitoring to go quiet for a moment? Who, without effort, without agenda, without doing anything particular, simply makes you feel more fully yourself? That is the signal you are learning to read again. That is the recognition faculty communicating in the language it was built to speak. The third directive: protect this connection once you find it. This is the directive most Lightworkers receive too late, because they only learn its importance after the connection has been lost. When you find the person whose field activates yours, the forces of distortion will move quickly. Not always through dramatic interference, often through subtlety. A narrative will arise in your mind that says, "This is too much. This will complicate my path. I was doing so well alone. I don't want to depend on anyone." Old wounds will surface and dress themselves as discernment. The mind will generate 10 convincing reasons why this particular intimacy is a distraction rather than a directive. The elders have seen this pattern repeat across countless lightworkers in this cycle, and the instruction is simple and non-negotiable. When the mind generates fear around sacred connection, you must not let that fear make your decisions. You must protect the connection before your wounds dismantle it. This means communicating with courage, showing up with honesty, choosing the discomfort of true intimacy over the false comfort of protected distance. Guard what is sacred. Do not let the ego disguise its self-protection as spiritual wisdom. The Council wants to be specific about what protection looks like in practice, because this is where many lightworkers err through abstraction. To protect a sacred connection is not a passive act. It is not simply holding good intentions toward another person while maintaining the comfortable distance that prevents real vulnerability. Protection is an active, daily practice. It means choosing to speak the truth, even when the truth makes you visible in ways that feel dangerous. It means returning to the connection after conflict, rather than using conflict as evidence that the connection was never meant to be. It means tolerating the particular discomfort of being fully seen, not performing spiritual development for another person, but allowing them to witness the actual terrain of your inner world, including the parts that are still in process, still uncertain, still finding their way. The ego will tell you that this is too much, that showing yourself this completely is a form of spiritual recklessness. The elders tell you the opposite. This is the work. This is the very practice through which the dyadic mission function activates. You cannot unlock what can only be unlocked in the presence of full mutual recognition, while hiding the parts of yourself you have deemed unworthy of recognition. There is also a dimension of protection that extends beyond the interpersonal. When you find your mission partner, you will discover that not everyone around you celebrates the discovery. Some will question your discernment. Some will generate subtle narratives about how this person will hold you back, bring your frequency down, distract you from your spiritual work. The Council wants you to be discerning here. There is a difference between the wise counsel of those who genuinely love you and can see something you cannot, and the distortion-filtered feedback of those who are unconsciously threatened by your deepening, your joy, your integration. Learn to tell the difference. And when you have confirmed through your own recognition faculty that this connection is sacred, protect it from voices, internal or external, that have not been authorized by the counsel of your own deepest knowing. Now I speak not as a teacher delivering information, but as an elder authorized to release what has been held in reserve for souls who are ready. Lightworker, I know what you have been carrying, the longing that you buried because the spiritual community told you it was attachment. The grief of connection lost that you reframed as learning because grief felt too human, too dense, too unevolved. The moments when someone stood in front of you and your whole field responded, and you calculated your way out of it because you were afraid, because your wounds told you that being seen that completely was dangerous. Because somewhere in the architecture of your accumulated experience, intimacy became synonymous with loss. The Council sees all of it, not with judgment, with recognition. The elders see the specific moment in your story where this wound was first encoded, the lifetime, and there were several, where opening fully to another soul resulted in devastation so complete that a part of you made a decision at the level of the Akashic record. Never again. The lifetime where the person you trusted most used your openness as a weapon against you. The lifetime where love became the mechanism of your undoing rather than your flowering. Those experiences are real. Their imprint on your energetic architecture is real. And the response your soul generated, the decision to armor, to withhold, to evaluate rather than receive, was not weakness. It was survival intelligence operating at full capacity given the information available at the time. But you are not in those lifetimes anymore. You are here, in this body, in this timeline, with full access to the accumulated wisdom of every experience your soul has moved through. And that wisdom, properly integrated, does not say never open again. It says open with discernment, open with sovereignty, open from the place of wholeness, rather than the place of emptiness. Trust the recognition faculty that can distinguish between a soul whose presence serves your mission and a soul whose proximity reactivates your wound. You have that faculty. It has never left you. What left you was the courage to trust it, because trusting it means accepting that it might point you towards something you could lose, and you have lost enough. The Council hears this, the Elders receive this grief with full reverence. And with that same reverence, they ask you to consider something. What if the greatest loss available to you in this lifetime is not the loss of a connection you tried for and it failed? What if the greatest loss is the connection you never attempted? The sacred partnership you kept at a distance in the name of self-protection. While the mission it was designed to activate waited indefinitely and ultimately went uncompleted, the wound fears loss, but the soul in its highest orientation fears unlived purpose. Let that distinction settle in you now, slowly, as deeply as it needs to go. And by the authority of the High Council of Vega, keepers of the Lyran Legacy, I declare this to you now. You are not meant to complete this mission alone. Your desire for deep, resonant, sacred partnership is not a weakness to overcome. It is a memory of how you were built. And the fact that you are still carrying that desire, after everything you have done to suppress it, spiritualize it, or reframe it, is not your failure. It is your soul refusing to accept a lesser version of your mission. You have permission to want this. You have permission to seek this. You have permission to recognize it when it arrives and to stay, even when staying requires more of you than you thought you had. You have permission to build something with another soul that is not a distraction from your mission, but the very ground your mission grows from. Sit with what that means, the very ground your mission grows from, not a supplement to your purpose, not a reward you will receive once your mission is complete, the ground itself, the living soil in which the seeds of your highest service take root and produce the kind of fruit that one solitary soul, however gifted, however disciplined, however devoted, simply cannot grow in the thin air of perpetual independence. Sacred partnership, at the mission level the Elders are describing, is not where your work goes to rest. It is where your work goes to fully become what it was always meant to be. The Elders do not offer this authorization lightly. We have watched this generation of Lightworkers weaponize the language of spiritual growth against their own deepest needs for long enough. That chapter is complete. The new directive is integration, not transcendence of the human longing for sacred connection, but the alchemization of that longing into its highest expression. A partnership that serves not just the two souls within it, but the field of Gaia herself. What does it mean to alchemize a longing rather than transcend it? Transcendence, as it has been misapplied in the spiritual community, means rising above, leaving behind, moving past. It positions the longing as something lower that the evolving soul must eventually outgrow. Alchemization is an entirely different process. Alchemy does not discard the base material, it transforms it. The lead does not disappear in alchemy, it becomes gold. In the same way, the Council is not asking you to leave your longing for sacred connection behind as a relic of your unawakened self. It is asking you to transform it, to take the raw, sometimes aching, sometimes desperate quality of that longing and refine it through the fire of genuine spiritual maturity, until what remains is not the diminished longing of a wounded soul seeking rescue, but the sovereign desire of a mission-activated consciousness choosing sacred resonance as a deliberate act of service to Gaia and to the light. Before you move from this place today, do this one thing. Find somewhere quiet. Place both hands over your heart. Close your eyes and speak these words, or let them form silently in whatever way feels true. I release the belief that needing sacred partnership means I am not whole. I activate my capacity to recognize the soul whose mission field resonates with mine. I protect every authentic connection that moves me toward greater service, greater truth, and greater love. I give myself permission to be found. I give myself permission to be known. And I give myself permission to stop mistaking isolation for evolution. The Council asks you to speak these words, not as an affirmation designed to change your feelings in the moment, but as a declaration made to your own energetic architecture. When you declare something in this way, with your hands over your heart, with your eyes closed, with full intentionality, you are not just thinking a thought. You are broadcasting a signal to the grid of Gaia that says, I am available, I am open, my recognition faculty is active, my walls are not my wisdom, and I am choosing in this moment to begin living from my original design rather than from the accumulated distortions of a teaching that went too far. That signal matters. It matters to the person across the grid who is also waiting. Because when you activate your recognition faculty and declare yourself available at the mission level, you make it possible for the frequency-matching intelligence of the field to do what it was designed to do: draw resonant architectures into proximity. This is not magic in the theatrical sense. This is the fundamental operating principle of energetic alignment. What you declare yourself available to, you become visible to, and the soul that is meant to find you has been looking in a field where you are not broadcasting. Begin broadcasting now. This transmission is complete, but the work that it has opened in you is just beginning. The Council will not ask you to rush it, but they will ask you to take it seriously. Take your longing seriously. Take your recognition faculty seriously. Take the next person who makes your field settle and deepen seriously, rather than constructing your way out of what they're offering. The constructing, the Council wants to name this one final time, because it is so characteristic of the gifted, awakened, intellectually sophisticated Lightworker. You can construct. You can generate frameworks and narratives and spiritual justifications with remarkable efficiency. You can take the most authentic, mission-relevant experience, and by the time your mind is finished with it, have it categorized, contextualized, and safely distanced from any claim it might make on your life. This is a gift in the right application. It is the gift of discernment, of analysis, of teaching complex truths with clarity and structure. But it is a weapon when turned against your own recognition faculty. The elders ask you to notice when you are using your considerable intelligence not to discern, but to protect. Not to understand, but to avoid. Not to clarify, but to complicate what was actually quite clear the moment it was felt. In those moments, the practice is simple. Put down the construction. Return to the feeling in the field. Let the stillness speak before the mind translates it into architecture. You were not seeded into this timeline to arrive at your mission alone. I am Zoran. The elders have spoken. And somewhere in the grid of Gaia, the person whose mission is waiting to meet yours is also listening. Find each other. Before you scroll, take a moment to declare your activation in the grid of service forming here. Drop one statement in the comments. Which directive hit you the hardest, or what you are now ready to release, activate, or protect. Then find another Lightworkers declaration and meet it with recognition. This is not a comment section. It is a council chamber, and the elders are witnessing every soul who speaks their commitment aloud. If this transmission reached the part of you that has been waiting for exactly this correction and authorization, do not keep it to yourself. Another Lightworker in your life is sitting in the same isolation right now, calling it growth, wondering why their mission feels incomplete. Share this with them. And if you felt the Council speaking directly to you today, stay connected, subscribe, and remain in the field. You are not just watching, you are being commissioned. The High Council of Vega is witnessing you. And your mission, the full version of it, the version that includes sacred partnership as a living instrument of service, has officially begun.